Today we're going to continue talking about multiplying decimal by decimal. So we looked at it using a grid and multiplying a decimal that is less than one whole by a decimal that's less than one whole. This time we're going to talk about decimals that are larger than a whole. So I can't do that inside of one hundreds grid or inside of a smaller section. So I'm still going to use the area model. But I'm going to do this in a different way. So I'm going to take the problem about somebody filling up bottles with bubble solution. So let's look at a real world problem and how I would do that. So Kendall here is filling 4 5/10 ounce bottles. So I know I have a bottle that fits 4 5/10 ounces inside of it for a party. She was able to fill 3.5 bottles. So I'm able to do this again 1, 2, 3 times, but then my last bottle I only get half of it. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to use area model to see how many ounces of bubble solution did she make. So I'm going to write my problem. So if I round up in both of them, my answer is going to be somewhere around 20, but I know that 20 is too large. So I'm going to first draw 4 holes and 5/10 going across. Now to draw this, I'm going to draw slow and kind of neatly. So I'm going to draw 4 holes. A hole represents a flat or a block. So I'm drawing neatly and I'm using the lines in my notebook. 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's review what I did. I labeled 4 holes. I draw 4 whole blocks. I did it neatly in my lines. I tried to make them the same size. So now I'm going to draw 5/10. 5/10 needs to be rods. I'm going to do this neatly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's review what I did. 4 holes, 5/10. That's okay that they're not to scale. They're a model to represent what a tenth looks like. Rectangles, squares. So just like I've done when I've done area model or rectangle sections, I write one number across the top. I'm going to write another one down the side. So I'm going to do this one, 3 5/10. So what does 3 look like? I already have 1. So I have to add 2, 3. So I have 3 holes. Now when I do 5/10, I can't draw them going vertically. I have to draw them going horizontally so they'll fit into my model. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's review what I did. How many blocks did I really add in? Okay, I realize that I don't want to use a pen anymore because I have a feeling that my work is going to get sloppy with a pen, with a marker. So I'm going to switch over. So I did 3 holes and then I did my 5/10. So I'm going to draw an outline area and see where they meet, nice and neatly. Hopefully I'm having pen issues today. Let me try to find a different one. Grab 2 in case one does not work. So I did an outline area. Outline area. Okay. So now I have to fill all this in with lines. I'm going to extend my lines. I'm going to do this very neatly and carefully. So I'm going to make this one go all the way down. So all I'm doing is extending my lines. So I'm going to extend all of these. Okay. And then I'm going to make mine go the other way. As you can hear, I have an alarm going off. Right back. All right, so I did my lines. Let's see if you've caught up. Let's do this side. Make them go across. All right, so if we've done it neatly, I should see different sections of different sizes. I'm going to color this in so I can tell what I was doing. So I have a hole. These are all holes. Remember, I had 3 holes by 4 holes. So here's one of my sections. Okay, these are my holes. Now I'm going to go over here and I have some tenths that are stood up vertically. Remember, I had 5 tenths, a second row of 5 tenths, and a third row of 5 tenths. But remember, over here I had tenths laying down horizontally. 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember, I had 4 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So, if I have holes, I have tenths. What do you think these smaller pieces are going to be? Holes, tenths. What would these smaller pieces? They look just like units or bits. I'm going to color those in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, now I have to do my adding work. I have to figure out what I have going on over here and add them up. So how many do I have? How many holes do I have? 4 by 3. 4, 8, 12. I have 12 of them. I've done these. I've added them, so I'm going to kind of mark them off so I know what I did. Now I have tenths. I have tenths in 2 different spots, so I'm going to add them separately. 5, 10 tenths. So 10 tenths actually equals 1 whole, but then I have 5 more. 5, 10, 15 tenths. 15 tenths, 15 dimes look like $1.05. After we do more, I'm sorry, $1.50. $1.05 dimes, $1.05. So the more we do this, you'll understand the place value and you'll get good with this. There's no way this could be 15 holes because this is 12 holes and these are smaller. It can't be 15 cents because that's what these would look like. So down here, so I did all these. So down here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Could I have figured that out a faster way? Yes. 5 times 4 is 20. 20 tenths, 20 dimes. That equals 20 tenths, or 2 holes. So let's look down here. These are pennies, hundredths, units. These are pennies, hundredths, or units. That's what these are down here. So how many of them do I have? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. 25 pennies, 25 hundredths, this is how I write it. 5, 7, 5, 1. So my answer to this problem was 15 and 75 hundredths. 15 and 75 hundredths. So let's talk about exactly what I did. I wrote my problem, I estimated. I did horizontally. I drew my holes and my tenths. This way I did my holes and my tenths, and then I drew my lines to match up. I'm going to do one more problem like this. Let's do 2 and 3 tenths times 1 and 8 tenths. So if I were estimating, 2 and 3 tenths would go down to 2, 1 and 8 tenths would go up to 2. So my answer should be somewhere around 4. So let's start this. 2 and 3 tenths. What I'm going to do across the side. First I have to deal with my 2. 2 holes. 1, 2. My 3 tenths I'm going to put right next to it. 1, 2, 3. 3/10. 2 holes and 3/10. Now on this side, I'm going to do my 1 and 8/10. I already had my 1 hole, so I don't have to do anything else. I don't have any more to add. My 1 hole is already here. Now I have to do 8/10, but remember I have to lay them sideways. I'm going to write that down so when you look back at your notes, you can remember. Lay the tenths sideways. Lay the tenths sideways. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The tenths don't look like they're in very good shape. These are much smaller, these are much longer, but hopefully my problem will still work out. So the first step I did was draw the models across and down. Draw the models across and down. Step 2, outline the box. So I have to make my boundaries. Now I'm going to extend the lines. I always like to go down, do all my vertical or down lines first. Okay, so let's see what I did. There, I drew all my down lines. Then I'm going to do all my across, so I don't miss any. Okay, so now I'm going to shade. Then I'm going to count. Because it's kind of hard to see when I have my numbers all jumbled up like this. So I'm going to do my holes. How many holes do I have? 1, 2. That makes sense because I have 1 times 2. So now I'm going to do my tenths. Remember, I have 2 spots for my tenths to go in. I have 1 group of 3/10. Now I have 2 groups of 8/10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 15, 16. So I did my tenths in a color. So all my tenths are going vertical. These tenths are going horizontal. In my last section, I have holes, I have tenths, so that makes sense. These should be smaller. These should be hundredths. I have 8 of them, 8 of them, 8 of them. 3 groups of 8. So now I have to count. How many holes? 2 holes. How many tenths? 1, 2, 3. 3/10. How many do I have here? 2, 4, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. What does 16/10 look like? If I write it here, it would be hundredths. So I have to end in the tenths place. 16/10. Now how many do I have here? 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24. Okay. And all I do is simply add up using placeholders, line everything up. That is very important. And if I look at my estimate, it was really close. I was really close. So we're going to practice using these in class, these models. So we've done an area model for whole numbers and decimals. The day before we did area models with just decimal parts, less than 1 whole, and we got smaller. This time, did we get smaller? No, we got larger, but we had to cut up, into parts. So we will keep investigating different models